contact.
This was supposed to be the most indestructible bike ever. Runs on jet fuel, built for the Marines, but it failed us.
Oh, it died. It died.
This is the M1030M1, a diesel-powered bike built by Hayes Diversified Technologies for the US Marine Corps. It was based on one of the most beloved bikes of all time, the Kawasaki KLR 650. A bike so reliable and simple, it stayed mostly unchanged all the way from 1987 to 2008. Even then, it only saw minor updates until 2022, when it finally got fuel injection and ABS. That's a 35-year run of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Hayes tried to fix it anyways. And what he built was complicated. Military motorcycles have been around for over a century. In the late 1800s, bicycles replaced horses for dispatch. By 1913, Harley, Indian, Triumph were all rolling into the service, carrying dispatches, machine guns, even communication pigeons. Fast forward to the late 1970s. NATO declared that all military vehicles had to run on JP8, a jet fuel derivative. But there were two exceptions: generators and motorcycles, which meant every gas-powered vehicle, including the Harley MT500 and KLR 250, required separate fuel shipments into war zones. That's where Fred Hayes comes in. In 2004, he created a motorcycle that could fix the fuel problem, a bike that could run on just about everything. Hayes took the KLR 650 and overhauled it for battle. The gearbox and crankcase stayed the same, but Hayes made sure the bike could run on jet fuel, or JP8, diesel, biodiesel, and kerosene. The military upgrades he made for it made sure that it had wider foot pegs and a bash plate, as well as brush guards, a blackout switch for stealth, and an AGM battery. And had to make sure that it could wade through 2 feet of water. And they added a 6.1 gallon tank that could supposedly go for 600 miles. We wouldn't know. We barely made it 600 feet. Hayes also removed the balance shaft, originally designed to reduce vibration. His goal was to make it more rugged. The result was a bike that vibrates like a paint shaker. Performance-wise, it's no rocket. It can go 0 to 60 in 9 seconds. And it tops out about 90 miles per hour, or 145 kilometers per hour. At a cost of $18,000 in 2004, it wasn't exactly a bargain. On paper, it sounds pretty brilliant, but in practice, well, you'll see. Shout out to Sean from Bikes and Beers, who owns not one, but 2 of these military rare bikes, and he told us that we could ride one of them. So it seemed like no matter what we did, the supposedly unkillable, runs on jet fuel bike just did not want to come back to life.
Ah! It's dying.
It is dying.
Yeah.
I think it's dying.
One thing that did survive the day also has common ground with jets. These that you see us wearing in the video were originally designed for pilots. With ultra-thin temples that don't break the seal in a pilot headset, they're now used by riders like us too. Probably because they're also shatterproof. They just work. No drama, no startup sequence, no vibrating apart. I've used this specific brand for years, and the lenses are designed to take an impact, whether it's on gravel or an unplowed dismount.
Nope.
You can get them polarized or not, prescription or not. I'll drop the link down below and use discount code DOODLE10. They're the one piece of gear that's never broken down on us. Now back to the bike.
All right, so we got the jump starter on. We're grounded on the only unpainted metal we could find on this bike, and in the positive. We did it! Yay!
Maria got about half a mile before the battery completely gave up.
Oh, it died. It died.
It wouldn't jump, wouldn't even bump. It was just done.
I think it's dead.
I do too.
The bike seemed to have a mind of its own, a fickle, picky mind that needed constant monitoring and the perfect touch to convince it to run. And even then, maybe. The original KLR 650 earned its reputation by being simple and reliable and cost-effective to run for decades.
I'm Master Sergeant retired Randy McElwee. While I was in the military with Army Special Forces, I spent a lot of time doing desert mobility operations, which included use of the motorcycles. Primarily, we wound up with the Kawasaki 4-stroke, experimented initially with 2-stroke versus 4-stroke, discovered the 4-stroke, even though it didn't have the power snap of the 2-stroke engines, it was much quieter. The reconnaissance part was much more important, and that's why the bikes would go out first, see if they drew fire, and then that way you could get everybody back on the helicopter and leave. It would be kind of the initial interaction if there was enemy there to let you know.
So these bikes require a very specific startup sequence. Not exactly what you might want under enemy fire. Also, it's loud. Really loud. So as far as stealth, maybe not the best thing. We talked to a dealership veteran with 25 years experience, and he swore by the KLR 650's reliability, resale value, and rider satisfaction. And yet the diesel version, built to be even tougher, couldn't even survive a day with us. So what went wrong? Maybe US military made the bike too complicated. Maybe trying to fix what wasn't broken in the first place ruined a once indestructible bike. Or maybe the unkillable bike finally met its match. YouTubers. Shout out to Blue Moon Cycle just outside of Atlanta, Georgia for letting us film in their super cool military room. This is technically a dealership, but it looks like a vintage bike museum. And a lot of the things you see here are actually on sale. If you're in the Atlanta area, they're open 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, but be sure to call ahead to make sure that they're here. I'm just really excited we were able to film somewhere really cool for you all instead of just my garage again. Whether it was a flawed masterpiece or just overbuilt, the M1030M1 is a really cool bit of motorcycle history. And for the few minutes it did run, it was really cool.